It has been a hot minute since we did a Phantom Friday. Hi, I'm married now. I'm a wife. I will be doing a video on everything wedding, but I've been wanting to do Edinburgh Castle for like over a year now. Like ever since the last Phantom Friday, which was, I don't even know how long ago, but I've been wanting to do a Phantom Friday since then because I've had Edinburgh Castle in my notes forever. Anyway, let's get into this, girl. Let's get into this. Just in case you have forgotten my name, it's up at the top there. I will get straight into the introduction. So we are going to be talking about Edinburgh Castle, like I said, in today's video. So that's what today's episode is of Phantom Friday. I will be delivering the ghostly sightings of Edinburgh Castle. Now, this castle is located in Edinburgh, Scotland, obviously. It was built in the 12th century. This castle has seen and heard a lot in its walls. Like, girl, there is some tea. There must be some gossip going on. So the castle has been many things over its time, considering it was built in the 12th century. It has been a military fortress. It has also been the residence of the royals, of course, and it is a remarkable bit of Scottish heritage. So today we're going to be talking about the 5 famous ghosts that, oh my gosh, I didn't realise how white that was. Wow. Jeffery, Starr, get it. Thank you. But yes, we're going to be talking about our 5 famous ghosts that reside in the Edinburgh Castle. So the first ghost that I'm going to be talking about is the Grey Lady. So the Grey Lady has been around for a hot minute. Like, she has been here, there and everywhere. Now, a lot of places usually have their generic like woman in white or the famous woman in black. There is a Grey Lady that is apparently near where I live, so there's quite a few. Quite a lot of places have a Grey Lady, a woman in white, or a woman in black. So I wasn't surprised to learn that there was like a Grey Lady or something like that, you know what I mean? So apparently there are 2 theories to the Grey Lady. First theory is that it's this lady called Jeanette. Now I'm going to butcher the name because I am dyslexic, but from my reading initially it's Douglas. Douglas. Can you understand where I get that from if I got this wrong? Thank you. But this woman, Jeanette, right? Or also known as Lady Glamis, Glamis. Glamis. That's how I've read it. Don't come for me. I am dyslexic. So this Lady Glamis was apparently accused of witchcraft, which we will get to in a moment. But apparently she was accused of witchcraft, apparently poisoned her husband, was also down for treason. This girl was busy. This Jeanette, Lady Glamis, was busy, okay? She had very many goals. She had very many things going on that she was just like, oh, I might want to dabble in some treason. Maybe a murder. So all these accusations came from King James V. It is said that King James V tortured Jeanette's family to give false information of the things that she was accused of. So she actually didn't do any of those things I just told you. She didn't do witchcraft. She wasn't apparently involved in any treason, and apparently she didn't commit any like murders or poisoning of any form. But King James the fifth had it out for Jeanette. Like, Bless her cotton socks. She could not catch a break, this girl. King James tortured her family members, even her servants, to hand over false information about Jeanette. And like, that's not okay. That's bullying. That's flat out bullying. Like, that's not okay. Okay? Okay. So this apparent poisoning was supposedly her husband, John Lyon, Lyon, so understand why I'm saying Lyon, the 6th, Lord of Glamis, who was actually suspected of planning to kill the king. So that's the treason part. And that's where King James then skipped, hop and jump to the conclusion that if this guy was going to try and murder him, then the wife must be on it as well, right? So Jeanette wasn't gonna like give up her husband or nothing, okay? Like, she wasn't going to say nothing against her husband about any of the things that he may or may not have been doing, but you know, she's got her man. She's got her man's back. And like, good for her, girl. Like, she is a husband's girly. Like, same queen. So because Jeanette wasn't like giving up her husband and his plans and what have you, Jeanette was tortured for the rest of her life. But she was also tortured and everything because she was accused of these things, which actually she was never accused of witchcraft. We don't know where it's come from, but apparently some person, some historian, mistranslated something, because obviously the English that we're speaking now wasn't the same English that we were speaking in the 12th century or whenever. Yeah, so apparently this historian mixed up some old English words and came up with witchcraft, and because of that everyone thinks that she was accused of witchcraft, which she never actually was. Funnily enough, she was only accused of treason and then murder / poisoning of her husband. So after all of her torturing that she went through for literally like her whole life, she ended up getting burnt at the stake, which I think is where the historian got his translation wrong, because a lot of people are under the impression that obviously if you're burnt at the stake then you're a witch, because that was when the burnings were happening apparently. So yeah, a lot of people came to the conclusion, oh well, she got burnt at the stake, which means that she is a witch, right? No, it was just that King James V was just like, I want her to burn at the stake. And she didn't even, fun fact, well, it's not really fun, it's just a fact, I guess, but a fact that's not very pleasant or very fun really for that matter. Usually when people get burnt at the stake, they are strangled beforehand, and she wasn't given this courtesy at all. King James V was there like, this girl, she's gonna feel all of it. She's gonna feel all of it. I do not care. I do not like her. Whatever sort of thing. Which, if you like ask me, like, but you won't, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. Like, dude, what was your problem? Like, let the woman just... That's not even the worst part, guys. The most horrific thing for me, personally, is that her 16-year-old son had to watch her burn to the stake, alive. Like, that's not okay. That's not okay. Like, that kid scarred for the rest of his life. So she was burnt at the stake, right? But apparently King James V made her son light the fire that burnt her alive. I don't know how much that is true, because I only found one source that said that, so that might not actually be true, but I want to mention it to you guys because I thought it was a bit like, what? Okay, the lashes are on. Moving on. So it is said that Jeanette haunts 2 locations. So Edinburgh Castle, of course, like we're going on about, and Glamis Castle in Angus, which is apparently also one of Scotland's, one of the many, but one of the most haunted places in Scotland. So, you know, I was going on about that there's 2 theories. Well, the second theory is that it could be, give me a moment, Mary D. Goose, I don't know. So you can understand where I've gotten guys. Yeah, I have probably butchered that completely. So Mary is the Catholic mother and regent of Scots. So Mary died in 1560 and she died inside the castle. Her body was kept in cloth and in a lead coffin, so then the smell of her rotting corpse, a lack of a better way of saying it, didn't smell, basically. So they wrapped her up in cloth, put her in a lead box coffin thing, and waited until the Protestant nobles to finally arrive and take the body and take her back to her home country in France. Which, you know, is nice, because that means that people obviously wanted her back home and wanted to like celebrate her and have their own way of saying goodbye. So those are the two theories on who the Grey Lady might be. I really think it might be Jeanette, because her story is so tragic that how could it not be her? Because it's such a tragic story. It's the perfect recipe for an unsettled spirit. But yeah, I really do think it's Jeanette. That's who I believe. Who do you guys think the Grey Lady is? Jeanette or Mary? Which one do you think it is? Okay, moving on to our next couple of ghosts. Our first one that I'm going to mention, because they come in like a duo because they're both playing musical instruments, but I've separated them both out, so then, you know, it's more to talk about. So we have this ghost called the Phantom Piper. That's his name that he was given. The Phantom Piper. That was a shot and a half for my face. Love that for me. Anyway, as the story goes, there is an entrance in the underground parts of the castle that maybe was like an escape route. So apparently during some sort of like chill out time, during the time it was, you know, when I was going on about that it was a like army barracks sort of thing, so whilst that was all happening, obviously there was some downtime for the guys who, you know, was patrolling the castle and stuff, and these group of lads, these group of men, decided to turn around to their bagpiper friend who was part of the regiment, to go and explore those tunnels that are underneath Edinburgh Castle, and the way that they were able to like figure out how far he had gone into the tunnel, rather than like attaching a rope to the guy, which sounds better in my head. I am not going in there just playing the bagpipes so then my friends could figure out how far I've gone down. Not that I can play the bagpipes whatsoever anyway, but so yeah, these group of friends, these lads, right, were just there like, hey buddy, yeah, you playing the bagpipes, let's see how far down you can go whilst playing the bagpipes. And, you know, the further in the distance that you are with the bagpipes, obviously that's telling us that you're really far into the tunnels. Okay, so that was their measurement of figuring out how far he had gone down. So this guy, he was just there like, yeah, sure, I'll show you what's what, you know, being a lad's lad and what have you. And probably all of his friends hyping him up to be like, yeah, dude, you can do it. But obviously in old English times, not the way that I'm saying it. Anyway, he agrees. He agrees to go down this dark abandoned tunnel whilst playing the bagpipes, so then his buddies can figure out how far down he's gone. So, you know, he's playing along, playing and playing and playing, and then all of a sudden, like, it stops, obviously, it stops. And they're like, oh, he's just playing a prank on us, it's fine, it's all good, it's all in jest, right? So this they're standing there waiting for him to start up and probably calling his name, and they're like, he's not gonna play. He's not playing his bagpipes. And so the friends were there like, right, okay, let's go on in. So they went in, found the bagpipes, not the guy who was playing them. And he was never found. Ever. Nobody asked where he was, nobody owned up to knowing him, basically, or we don't even know what his name is. We don't know who he is. Some guy who was in the regiment, and he was a bagpipe player, and yeah. No wife came to ask where their husband was, or any mother asking where her son was. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Which is so bizarre. No one claimed him. Well, there was nothing to claim, but you get what I'm saying. There was nobody to be there like, where is he? So this phantom piper is said to have vanished underneath the castle completely in 1820. So, you know, a good chunk of years ago. I'm not going to tell you the maths. I will put the maths somewhere up here, but I will not tell you it at the moment. So just to freak you out even more, right? So these tunnels are now completely sealed shut. Okay? So there's no way that this guy, right, is in there still. Well, even if he is, it's just a body, right? It's nothing's there. No. Apparently you can still hear the faint sound of bagpipes playing from underneath the castle in that area. Like, creepy, but like who goes to think, oh yeah, I'm a lad's lad, I'm gonna go down there in the dark abyss of the castle, nothing's going to happen to me. I'm sorry, but where is the survival skills? I thought you were in the regiment, buddy. Like, what's going on? Anywho's. That's the phantom piper for you. Yeah. So this is our next musician. Are you ready? I say musician, not really a musician, but you get what I'm saying. They both played instruments, is what I'm getting at. Anyway, this guy is called the Headless Drummer. Meaning he is not nearly Headless Nick from Harry Potter. It's gone. The head's gone. And his apparition is seen around the castle's like battlements. I think that's what you say what it is. They had these drummers back in the day to warn people who were obviously in the castle that there are enemies approaching, and they would play different tunes for different reasons. So like if there was a fire, then they would play the fire tune, drumming tune, I don't know. They would play like an attacking one. There's loads of different ones, but those are the main ones, right? You get the gist. Anyway, so this drummer guy, he was first seen in 1650 drumming a warning signal, is what I'm getting at, because that's why I was telling you guys about, you know, the different of the drums. So this guy, like I said, in 1650 was drumming away because there was an attack happening. And there was an attack happening, right? So this guy, he's dead, he's gone, he's brown bread, right? But his ghost started drumming in 1650 when Edinburgh Castle was under attack by a guy called Oliver Cromwell, who obviously wanted to take over Edinburgh Castle. But ever since that sighting, there's not been any other sightings since then. Since 1650, there's not been any sightings of the drummer, like actual apparitions and what have you. However, boys and girls, when the castle is empty and it's all locked up for the night, all the workers have gone home, the people who obviously live nearby, you could still hear, supposedly, the faint drumming in the distance. Scary. And once again, nobody has claimed like ownership of whoever this headless drummer is. Nobody has turned around and said, my son or my husband or my nephew or, you know, or my uncle or anything like that. No one has owned up to who this guy is, and so we still don't know. We still don't know who this guy is till this day. Apart from that, you can still hear him drumming in the distance once everyone's gone home. So that's the 3 out of the 5 ghosts that Edinburgh Castle have. There's a lot of, if you guys want another video on like more of the history side of it all, because there's a lot going on at Edinburgh Castle that has inspired a lot of things. So for instance, I think there's something called the Black Dinner or something like that. I'll put the proper title here, but that has inspired I don't know if anybody is a Game of Thrones fan, but if you guys have watched the Red Wedding, there we go, the Red Wedding, Edinburgh Castle was the inspiration for that. Like one of the incidents that happened at Edinburgh Castle was the inspiration for that episode. Fun fact. So if you guys want a little bit more on the history, I can definitely do that for you. Anyway, carrying on with our ghostly little friends going and rocking it up in Edinburgh Castle. So there is this ghost, bless his heart, is the castle's unluckiest prisoner, okay? And I will tell you why he's the most unluckiest. It's actually quite sad. So basically, this guy, I don't know what he had done, because for some reason there's no actual like record as to what he did to get put in prison at Edinburgh Castle, like in the dungeons, right? But he was put in the worst dungeon in the castle. So it was dark, it was damp, like it was horrible, rat ridden, it was disgusting, right? It was horrible. Even the guards didn't really want to go down there because they knew how gross it was down there. And they're like, even though it's like, I don't know, the 18th century or 17th century back then, which, girl, I would never want to go to 17, 16th century, ever. 12, I wouldn't want to. I would love to travel back in time, don't get me wrong, to just see, but I wouldn't live it. Do you know what I mean? I'm too OCD. I'm too OCD for that lifestyle. So this part of the castle, absolutely disgusting, right? This dungeon is the worst of the worst. So this guy got given the worst of the worst. So this guy, you know that he's around you when you go and visit the castle, because if you smell the whiff of poo, if you get a whiff of poo whilst walking around, yeah, that's him. He's about, and I will tell you why he smells like poo, okay? Feces, matter, you know, excrement. This guy, bless his heart, he was like, I've had enough being in prison. I've absolutely hate this part of the castle. I hate being in prison, blah, blah, blah. I mean, no one, I assume nobody, I've never witnessed it myself, likes prison. Don't fancy finding out either, thanks. Anyway, so he was there like, I've had enough, right? So he's gone ahead and come up with the most cunning plan, which was to escape, yeah. And his plan, which he followed through, was to hide in the wheelbarrow that was full of poo. And what they do with this wheelbarrow of poo is they obviously chuck it over the barracks. They're like, well, we don't want that in our castle anymore. That's everybody's poo. So they throw it over the thing, right? Which the guy did not think about that particularly. He ended up like, you know, the first part of his plan executed very well. He got in, he was fine. And the second part of his plan about being thrown over the barracks, so he didn't take into account that when he's thrown over the barracks, that below are sharp, jagged rocks. So he died covered in poo and splattered onto sharp, jagged rocks. Yeah. If I had to pick a way to go, it would be that. Wouldn't be that for... No, I'm... Not for me. Not for me, babes. So yeah, the way that you're able to tell that he's around you is you get this whiff of poo, but also he is known to push people about the castle as well. So he's not a very nice guy. I don't know why he doesn't like, you know, people walking around the castle, you know, visitors like regular Joes like you and me just walking around, but he just goes by pushing people for no apparent reason. Whether, oh, actually, theory, maybe he does that so then people notice him, but then surely, hang on a minute, no, because you should be able to smell him before you can feel his presence, you know what I mean, before he pushes you. I don't know. Moving on to our last ghost, which I think is the most adorable thing in the world. Fun fact, did you know that Edinburgh Castle have their own pet cemetery? I think you know where I'm going with this one, girls. So, there are many, many dogs that, you know, had owners in the regiment back when it was like a military base enforcement thingamajig. And so a lot of the people who obviously worked there had dogs of their own, had pets of their own, because that was just the thing, to have a dog, like have something loyal to you back then. And apparently there was a little dog. Well, I say little. There's apparently an apparition of a dog that you can see around the castle. It's like a scruffy black dog. So breed wise, I have absolutely no clue. I feel like this lip looks too bold for this look. Like you want the eyeshadow to take it, but this isn't happening. Right, we're changing the lip. I don't like the lip. And then I'll carry on. Hang on, give me a moment. I really wish I had some like rhinestones or something to like stick all over my eyes, because I think that would look amazing. It'll be very like Euphoria vibes. There we go, that looks so much better. I prefer that now. Anyway, getting on with this scruffy little black dog apparition that is apparently seen not only in the castle but also wandering the grounds of the pet cemetery, which is like, that's so sweet. Like obviously it's there like, I'm just gonna go back to sleep. I'm gonna go and rest at my tombstone, which is like, but like if you are like spiritual and all of that sort of stuff, which I kind of am, I'm like kind of on the cusp of, I like, you know, I'm star signy sort of person. I'm a Pisces. I don't think you guys are bothered all that much, but yeah. So apparently I went online and searched up like what sort of omen is the black scruffy dog, and apparently it is a good omen. I would have thought it was a bad omen, but then I'm thinking of a black cat, so you get where I was going with that thought process, but it didn't follow through. It says on my research, it symbolizes protection, guidance, transformation, and is also classed as a guardian angel, which I think is really sweet. But if you are a fellow Potterhead like me, I am a Slytherin, by the way. That sounds really weird because I'm a Pisces and a Slytherin. Why I'm whispering, I do not know. Anyway, you will know that the black dog in Prisoner of Azkaban that is found in Harry's cup, the Grim, is not a good sign, which, so take that as you will if you would take the spiritual route, which I found out, or you are going to believe a Harry Potter. But this dog doesn't fuss about, doesn't cause any hassle or anything. It just goes wandering about the grounds. So, I don't know. Take that as you will. Anyway guys, this is the look. Like I said earlier, I wish I had some rhinestones, because I would have done some rhinestones going all the way up. Maybe a few in the middle and stuff like that. I think this look is really cute. It's very like, let's quickly brighten up the day, as well as this can turn into a festival look very quickly. So I think that's a really good thing. It's like, oh, I can wear this being playful and colourful and out there, and it shows my personality. But at the same time, if I'm going to Coachella, which I wish I was, then it can get jazzed up by just a few rhinestones. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm really excited for Phantom Friday to be back. Let me guys know if you want to see like or hear more about Edinburgh Castle, and also let me know what type of ghostly places you want me to do some research on. Okay guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up for me. Make sure to comment down below on what type of Phantom Fridays you want to see. These Phantom Fridays will be coming every 2 weeks, because you girls got to do a lot of research, and I want to make sure that I get it right, okay? I want to make sure I get it right for you guys, because I don't want to give you false information. And that's why I'm saying, like, apparently, and as they say, because, you know, we're talking about ghosts here. It's all about perception and, you know, people who are believing and stuff like that. It's not matter of fact, as some people say. That's if you're on the fence of it all and what have you. I will be uploading every week either a makeup look or a vlog. Just sort of depends on how the week has gone for me, really, but I will give you guys a heads up on the socials. I'm very active on Insta, so make sure to be following my Instagram as well. Make sure to subscribe and to show this video some love, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye my little bees.